Hey Commanders, this is your boy, Fork Owlet's back again. So sorry about, not being able to put out a video for a long time. I've been really busy, so the schedule has been all over the place. But now that I'm back, I'm going to start the second tutorial of how to play Elite Dangerous for beginners. So the first tutorial we went over was basically just, your general controls. All of the control presets that I gave you should still stay the same. These, like I said, these are just the best controls I could find, or that I've created for console players. They could also be for PC players if they choose to work with a controller, but obviously they have different things to work with. So now that we're done with, I think it was a tutorial introduction. Oh wow, look, we got another guy here. We're gonna start our auto launch and then move on to the next section. So when I fly, typically I like to kind of bring my speed to about 50%, which is, like I said, RT and B, and then kind of use left and right trigger with the thrust up and or thrust forward and backwards to kind of, control that. So right now the ship is auto launching because I have an advanced docking computer, as you can see under the modules. It's right here. You can buy these at any, well, at most stations, but that is what allows you to kind of land on and off without you really having to do anything. As you can see, the game is doing it for me at the moment. So, if I remember correctly, do we not have a mission here, or what's going on? Oh, this is awkward. Hmm. I guess we don't have a mission. So yeah, you could do your basic rolls, left and right, using the left stick. Up, down, again using the left stick. And then to kind of show you what I mean by thrust. So remember how we used the, let me just get rid of that. Remember how we adjusted thrust to the right stick? You hold right stick right, you go right, right stick left, you go left. It's a little gradual. It's better with like different movements. Up, you go up, down, you go down. And then you can just kind of mess around with the controls, like fly up and then use your thrust up or thrust down while still going forward. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so clearly either I forgot to get a mission or there's nothing to do until I get to some point. I haven't played the introduction in like almost a year now, so let me just get back to the station. Now, to slow down, or to do auto dock, basically you need to reduce your speed to 0. But me, I ain't about that life. Alright, so we're going to 19, huh? Okay, that's fine. Da, da, da. Boom. Alright, so let me check the starport services. Definitely forgot to do that. I'm pretty sure there was a mission we had to pick up here that I forgot. Or maybe not. Hmm. Oh, no, it was. It was a curry mission in Drami. So, if I remember correctly, this will be the first mission you really do. You take it, you accept it, and normally, I have my controls where if I hold Y and press left on the D-pad, it automatically goes to the map. Yeah, it's huge. But most people will just hold X and then press left on the D-pad, and you go to your transactions panel. Then you press on the mission, you go to Open Galaxy Map, and it'll send you directly to it. And you have 4 options. You can put a waypoint on the map, or the star system that you want to go to. You can plot the route that you want to fly to it. So basically, just pinpoint the map or the star system on your screen, and then you just press Y and fly to it. You can bookmark it, so this way you know where it is up here in the bookmarks section, which you press LB and RB to navigate to. Or you could just go to the system map and look at the star system itself. Check out the star, the planets, such as gas giants, what's it called? Um, no atmosphere planets. Those are going to be added in Odyssey and Autumn. And I'm pretty sure like that is an atmospheric planet that we can't land on yet because it's an icy body. But the ones with the circular rings around them, if you see that blue, if you have horizons, that means you can land on them. If you just get Elite Dangerous base, you can't land on planets. So anyway, our objective is to go to Moss and Dock. So obviously you want to plot the route there, because if you just mark it, you'll see it, but you're not gonna get there. Anyway, so you just press B out of it, and then auto launch. Let me just turn this. You don't need to do this because you guys are new, but I don't really need this advanced dock computer for at least a sidewinder.
Landing couple disengaged. You are clear to leave.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, it feels really weird flying this thing. Especially because the yaw and turn radius is a little wonky. I think I know why. It's unengineered. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn that voice off. Whatever. Anyway, so when you get out of the station, as it's behind you, while you're flying away, at the speed of sound, there's going to be a planet in front of you. And you're going to wonder, well, how am I going to fly to Drami, right? If there's a damn planet. I press Y, and then this message pops up. Frame shift canceled. Destination target obscured. Because obviously you can't jump at the speed of light through a fucking planet. You blow up. So what you do is you press Y and you press it down on the D-pad. This activates your frame shift drive, but it only activates it at a super cruise level. So you fly around in space of the system you're in, not in between systems. And I'll show you what I mean. So notice how much bigger this planet is getting, because I'm flying faster than the speed of light. Well, actually I'm flying at a few hundred kilometers, but you know what I'm saying. You can land on that planet, but there's nothing really there. So anyway, once that planet is away from our destination, aka Drami, you see how there's that yellow circle around the star? That means when it's dotted, that means the star system you're trying to travel to is obscured. When it's circular and filled, that means you can press Y and you can finally travel to that star system. Now in Odyssey, they're going to change the, what do you call it? I guess it's witch space transition. Right now it looks a little funky, but in Odyssey when it comes out, you can actually see the stars around you moving while you're traveling to the star itself. So this is what it looks like currently. I mean, it's alright, but it kind of looks like you're going through a tunnel in a way. First time I saw this, though, it was pretty damn awesome. It's like, whoa, I'm going to another star system. Space, man. It's great. Alright. Now, normally, when you jump in, I usually press RT and A, just go to 50% speed and Super Cruise. So it's 50 in A in Super Cruise and 50 in B in normal space. Because if you do 50 in B in Super Cruise, it goes to 25%. I don't know why, and I don't really care. Anyway, so we're going to bring our speed down to 0. So RT and Y, right? So that brings it down to 0, or at least 30 kilometers per second. And what I want to show you is where the target is. When you jump into space, you're going to be like, okay, I want to go to Moss and Dock, but where is it? I don't see it. Do you see that little blue dot on, I guess, that makeshift radar of the ship? That, if it's not full, right, if it's just hollow like that, that means you're on the opposite side of your objective. However, as you get closer to it, it gets full. And when you align it with the crosshairs, boom, there's your target. Okay, now, for most new players, you're going to try and fly to it at like RT&A at 50% speed. And obviously you can get there like that. However, for new players, I highly, highly recommend you press X and press left on the D-pad, right? You go to where the Drami system is. This is any mission that you have over here. When you get to the system, it will be highlighted dark blue. That's how you know where you need to go. Anyway, so you want to go to Mawson Dock. For new players, you're going to press A on this, and you're going to activate this. It's called Super Cruise Assist. This will allow you to fly your ship without you actually having to fly to the destination, because I guarantee you, if you try to fly on your own, you're going to fly past the destination and spend an hour trying to get to it without actually getting to it. So I'm going to press A on that. You align yourself with the crosshairs of the blue dot, and the ship will basically fly you to Mawson Dock. And in the meantime, you could just, look around, enjoy the scenery, the, what do you call it? Immersion, as Yamix would say, for anyone that knows him. And yeah, basically just look around, enjoy everything there is to see. I usually like to go into, what do you call it, camera suite while I'm doing this. I'm just kind of check out the ship, you know, enjoy how big it is, how huge it is, just the scale of this entire game. So we're at 3,000 meters away. That's our ship. That's the sun. And then every single star that you see right here on this screen, and this is like a lot of stars, right? Every single star you can travel to. And there's stars beyond these stars. This is just what you can see on the screen. There's like, uh, basically, the way this game works, there are 400 billion stars, right? And before we go to Moss and Dock, for even greater reference, once we get a super cruise, there we go. That's awesome. But anyway, for even greater reference, for 400 billion stars, right? There's usually about 1 to 2 or even 3 planets that you can land on. You can do the math on that. Let's say it's 2. That's 800 billion planets that you can land on. Then you add atmospheric worlds, boom, you'll even have more. Anyway, so let's fly off Mason Dock. Now, one crucial thing I did not pay attention to, or in the very least learn how to do when I first started playing this game, is how to actually dock. So you want to get about 7.5 meters or kilometers to a station, right? And what you want to do before you get any closer, or even try to fly into that opening slot, is you want to request to dock. Because if you try to fly in there without doing that, that place is going to try and kill you. So how do you request to dock, you might wonder? You press X and you press left on the D-pad. You use RB and LB to navigate through these 3 panels, right? You got your navigation, which is a whole system, and you can filter it out based on what you want. You got your transactions, which is your missions, as well as your bounties and crimes. And finally, you have your contacts. What are your contacts? Your contacts are basically the ships around you, the wakes that they leave when they go into Super Cruise, or faster than light, and the stations around you. And basically, use the up and down D-pad, and then you press right on the D-pad, and you request to dock. When you request to dock, you'll have about 10 minutes to dock. Usually, most stations will let you unless you're wanted in that system, or there isn't any available, what do you call it, landing pads there at the station. But that's only if you're playing an open play, which usually there aren't, there's plenty of, what do you call it, plenty of landing pads in open play. It's usually for ships that are large that there isn't too many. But for small ships like this one, yeah, there's plenty. So at this point, what do you call it? Your auto launch system would already take over. I'm just manually flying because the only time I use auto launch is usually for bigger ships like the Anaconda, the Corvette, the Cutter, anything that I don't feel like actually, landing myself. But tiny ships like these aren't too bad. So anyway, you get to Mason Dock, you refuel, you go to your starport services, and you cash in your first mission, which is about 24,000 credits. Not that much, but it's something. Alright, so you might be wondering, what do you do from here? Well, that's a great question, because honestly, the possibilities are endless. Okay, so based on what kind of player you are, there's a multitude of different roles for you. If you go over here, actually, no, I'm sorry, not there, but we'll pick that anyway. Um, Here's so basically, when you go to your mission boards, there's usually going to be a bunch of people that have different jobs. And the Pilots Federation or Federation Administration, I don't think they will let you leave Drami or any other system until you get higher. So, what do, you may ask? Well, there's a bunch of jobs you can do. Source and resource or source and return 2 units of T, right? That's one. Source and return units of lithium. Mine 6 units of Gallite, and you can see that based on the amount of time that you put into something, you'll get more credits for it. Another courier job to Orna. Encrypted data storage salvage operation. Another courier job. Massacre missions. Usually people that play, what do you call it, Elite Dangerous, they want to go for missions that kill people. Because, it's a space simulator, but it's more like a combat space simulator. So you got Massacre faction pirates, take down a known pirate. You also have assassination missions, you have passenger missions, you have a bunch of things. And Odyssey is really going to expand in on that. Some missions will actually be illegal in certain sectors. Obviously, none of these are because, well, these are introductory missions for new players. So, you know what? Let's pick the harmless ranked takedown mission for a known pirate. Just just so the missions on display no longer valid. Request new information now, please. Okay. So did we I guess we didn't get that one. Okay, well let's see. Is there another combat mission we could take? How about this guy? Alright, so now you can see that we have a known pirate, Mateus Ox, or whatever his name is. So let's go kill the guy. You'll notice that every new Sidewinder that you come in will have 2 weapons. They're called pulse lasers. They're very weak. They're good against taking down shields, but that's about it. If you hold X and press right on the D-pad, you'll go to this section. Now you notice that I kind of played around with this. This is the section where you have all your modules. And modules are basically things you install on your ship to make them better or worse. So for example, here are the 2 pulse lasers I was talking about. Basically, these things are your hard points, or your weapons, as what we call them. So you can upgrade these, or you can exchange them for different weapons, and I'll show you how to do that once we get enough money. In the meantime, let me cycle through all these other, kind of things, tabs here. So you press RB and you go to your fire groups. Your fire groups, you can adjust them however you want. You can make, so you notice how these are 1s. These are both commanded to your primary fire button, which I made RB. I could do this and make this pulse laser fire RB and this one fire LB. Usually I just have them both at 1 because, what's the point of really switching between 2 different fire buttons if I could just hold down 1 and then continuously shoot. So these 3, they're important, but they're important for people that are more interested in exploration. Data link scanner, usually go to a base or you go to some region in space and you scan something like a pylon, and it gives you information as well as credits and materials. Composition scanner, that's more for like plant life and alien life, in case you want to find things out in the black, or what we call anything outside the bubble. And then your discovery scanner. That is basically when you go to an unknown star system that no one's ever found before, and that's how you discover how many planets there are, as well as where to find them. So anyway, moving on to the ship tab, you'll have your functions. You could turn these on or off, but remember, in night vision we made it so it's B and left on the D-pad, because it's much easier to do that than actually turn it on and off manually. Some of these are basically, what do you call it, already coded into our controls, and some of them you gotta do it manually. So these 3 are, I don't remember what Beacon does, but I'm pretty sure it's related to when you link up with somebody online. Silent running, that's more of if you're trying to sneak into a base. Unfortunately, you take the risk of dying faster because it turns off your shields and it raises your heat really quickly. So you gotta play around with that in the future. Forward fire. This is for turreted weapons mode. So if you have a turreted weapon, that's how it works. I'll tell you what that is once we go in greater depth to this, but at the moment, just ignore this kind of stuff. And reboot and repair, say your ship is like a 50% health and a lot of your modules are damaged because guess what? These also have health, and if your shields are down and you start taking kinetic damage, these will lose health. And if they are 0, this is how you basically bring them back up to 1% so that they at least function. Otherwise, for example, say your frameshift drive is dead, it's at 0, and you want to go to Super Cruise because that's the only way to get to a station aside from blowing yourself up, you gotta reboot and repair. Obviously, there are other ways to fix this, and I'll go into greater depth later, but at the moment, this is how you reboot and repair for beginners. Okay, now we're going over functions. Let's go into Flight Assist. Flight Assist on. So Flight Assist, I think I already told you this, is basically the ability for your ship, once it's turned off, to act the way a ship would normally act in space. Say you're flying forward, right? And with Flight Assist on, when you you fly down gradually like you're flying an airplane, right? However, let's say we turn Flight Assist off and you try to move your ship forward. Sorry, not forward, but down, like you're trying to do like a full circular motion. Instead of doing a full circular motion, your ship will still fly in the same direction, but will face the angle that you're flying to. Auto dock, as I said, that's with the advanced computer. I don't use that. Auto launch, um, same thing. Hyperspace dethrottle, not really important. And Super Cruise Assist, I usually leave that in auto throttle because I don't know, I let the computer do it for me. Here's where you have your pilot preferences. So, depending on if you want your brightness to be higher or lower for all this stuff, that's how you work with that. Display clock, I usually have that on. Orbit lines, that's how you can see the orbit of the planets flying around the sun as well as all astral bodies. I don't really know the difference between logarithmic and linear, but I usually leave it at that. Report crimes against me. So say you're in space and a random pirate shoots you in a well-protected um, area. Like say it's not an anarchy state. It has a government. Well, this will alert the police within that system, and then the police will actually come out of Super Cruise and help you kill the pirate that's trying to kill you, assuming you don't get blown up first. Gunsight mode, leading between trailing. I usually leave that leading as it allows you to shoot better. Pre-flight checks, that's more if you want immersion. And then hide locations from profile. I don't really know what that does, but I don't mess with it either. And these are your statistics. So the statistics are basically the information on the current ship that you're using at the moment. So as you can see, the Sidewinder has a current a light year jump range of 7.5, and unladen, which means you don't have like any form of cargo or anything like that, it's 7.75. Not very impressive, but that's okay. As you play, you'll be able to increase that by better ships. As you can see your shield health. It's at 52. Again, not very impressive. Your kinetic resistance, explosive, thermal, your armor health, which is basically the hull of your ship, its rating, as well as its resistance. Alright, moving on to the inventory. Here we have, well, as it says, inventory, ship cargo. So the ship cargo is usually based on if you have a module installed called the cargo rack, which is basically a module in your ship that allows you to hold certain different types of cargo, as you saw in the missions, that would allow you to go to different systems and drop things off, or say you go on an asteroid world and you mine for, well, materials. You can use the ship cargo and then collect those materials and then sell them for more money, which is one of the best ways to make money in this game, by the way. And a Goodyear refinery, that is part of mining. specifically for mining, so don't worry too much about that for now. You got your materials, your data, and your synthesis. Your materials and data, that's all in direct interest of engineering, which is at late stage in the game, so I wouldn't worry too much about that either. Synthesis, this is basically similar for late stage in the game, what you're able to create for your ship. And then cabins. This is, say you want to be a space taxi man and make a lot of money. Usually you need a medium to high-end ship to do that. Some small ships can have a, what do you call it, a passenger cabin, but they usually lock out at like 2 or 4 people, so it's not very preferable. And then you have your status. So you have the system factions. This basically shows you the different factions within the system, you know, where all the planets and the star is. Um, your reputation with the 3 different factions of the whole bubble, or humanity. You got the Federation, which is basically, you know, kind of democratic system. You got the Empire, which, you know, think of it like Star Wars, but less aggressive. And then you got the Alliance. People that really aren't that important, because you can't even get a rank with them, so don't even bother. You got your session logs to show you basically exactly what you've been doing since you logged in. You got your finances, so it shows you how much money you have, and the ship insurance, how much they'll cover it, and how much you have to pay for the rebuy. So whenever you die, assuming it's not a Sidewinder, whenever you die, there's something called a rebuy cost, and a rebuy cost is in relation to how expensive your ship is, as well as how well geared it is. So the better stuff you put on your ship, the more it'll cost to rebuy, and based on the ship that you have, that ship insurance could range from 99% to 95% or lower. And finally, you have your permits. Your permits are very specific and selective. So permits are only designatable to select systems within the bubble. So if you don't have a permit to go to a certain system, and there's only a few systems that have permits, most systems you can travel willy-nilly, these ones are very select, and without them you can't go to these places. Alright. And this, honestly, this is pretty useless. Don't even bother with this. Alright, so now that we have all those bases covered, let's check out our mission. So we gotta take down the gnome pirate Mateus Ox. So, again, you want to go to Open Galaxy Map. You want to find out where this guy lives, and I guess he lives in Sharper. You want to plot a route there, which apparently is a few good chumps, further than I thought it would be. But that's okay, because if you see here, our ship has just enough fuel to actually make it. You see that little blue dot versus the orange? The blue dot is telling you how much fuel it will cost to actually get to that next system. Now, if you go over here, you'll see it takes, oh, hang on a second, sorry. If you go over here, it'll say it takes 3 jumps to get to Sharar, right? From here to there, it'll take 3 jumps. And each jump will cost about that much fuel. So we'll probably have more than enough fuel to get there anyway. Alright, so now that we have everything, do we have a scarab? What? I didn't even know that. But anyway, now that we have everything, let's get started. So basically, this video is more of an introduction to the, I guess you could say, the basics of Elite Dangerous. And as you can see, there are a lot of players. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. You know, shouldn't be surprised because this is the tutorial area. But, yeah. I guess everyone's getting ready for Odyssey. Anyway. Let's go. So before we continue, I actually want to show you that difference I was talking to you about. So remember how I told you if you try to fly up or down at normal speed, this will happen? So just to give you a frame of reference. So in flight assist on, right? You hold left or right, or sorry, you hold up or down on the left stick, right? This will happen. You'll fly in a circular motion in the direction that you're trying to fly to. Makes sense, right? Just like any other standard flying game, that's what would happen. Now, let's say you do the same action with flight assist off. So you're flying in this direction, right? Towards the gas giant, and you turn flight assist off. You see how we're still flying at the same speed in that direction, but watch what happens when we turn our ship up or down with the left stick. We're still flying in that direction. See? You can tell because these little like light particles are going there, but we're still going in that direction. Now, all we have to do is just go back and turn flight assist back on. And then boom, we're still going. And just to remember, I put flight assist on and off as RT and down the D-pad. Now, you don't really need to learn how to use that just yet, simply because, well, it's more of an advanced technique that I'd give you a couple of days to maybe a week or two to play this game before you even try to use it. But I just wanted to show you like what the difference is between this, a circular motion, and you can see the trail of what we're doing, and then this,
Flight assist off.
go in the same direction, but we're still being able to move. It's more for maneuverability's sake in combat. But anyway, now that we're done with that, basically all the introductions to the ship, what would I call it? Ship systems. The introduction to all the ship systems. Let's turn the night vision on. Let's go to our next star system. Now, I don't know why, but you can actually fly through a gas giant's rings with the frameshift drive. You don't need to get out of obscurity because, yeah, no, I don't get it either. You'd think that you just crashed into one of the rocks there, but nope, you don't. Basically, whenever you do like this frameshift drive, jump into another system, it's more of a teleport sequence to like another map, you could say, technically speaking. And check it out. We got ourselves a, what do you call it? Well, I know there's a technical name for it, but I'm just going to call it a pink star. Alright, press Y again, on to the next star system. Don't mind me, I'm just playing around with my stuff, because I'm waiting to get there. Who puts a handlebar on a spaceship? Like, what's the point? I don't think that's gonna really help. Also, one thing I never understood is you don't have a seatbelt on your spaceship. I mean, what if this thing just goes 0G one day? You don't want to be flying around everywhere. Ah, look at that. Now that, you know, Will Smith would be like, ah, that's hot. That's hot. And you know what? I don't blame him. It kind of is. Alright, let's go to Sharor. Or as one of my friends would say, RAR XD. Yeah. Sharor. Don't you just love this British lady's voice? Engage. It does look pretty cool though. Not gonna lie. This game is definitely eye candy for players who haven't ever played it. Okay, so now we're within the star system that we need to be. Also, check it out. We got a Viper over here. That's cute. The shields are almost broken. Oh, he's wanted too. What did this guy do? Oh, and he's at 48% health. Oh no, this young man, my boy. Anyway, so now we're at the star system what we need to be. We need to take down known pirate Mateus. So once again, we go to navigations and we look for him. Usually, like I said, you'll see a mission indicator that's highlighted dark blue. You go there, you can lock destination, but I recommend you Super Cruise Assist and then navigate your ship to where the system or to where the mission is. If it's obscured like that, you see how there are dotted lines versus being full. Just press RT and A and then fly around the sun or whatever's obscuring it until you can line your ship up with the destination, basically. Now, someone's flying erratically. Anyway. I kind of want to jump in and kill that guy, but I don't think my my Sidewinder is equipped to fight a Viper. Because that's a more expensive and hardier ship than this thing is. Surprisingly, this thing has a scarab on it, which is basically, it's basically like a little car you can deploy on planets so you can drive around and do whatever you want on them. But, yeah, I didn't know that was there. I think it might be there for new players now. I don't know if it was always there, but who knows? Who cares? Anyway, so now we're on our way to our mission target. And now I'm going to introduce to you the combat. Or at least what I know about the combat. So yeah, you'll have your ship fly you over there, do its own thing, have a good time. No, the usual. And I guess somebody's trying to interdict us. I don't really know why, but try to get out of it. Normally this wouldn't happen to you, but try to get out of it by lining that circle in front of you, that tiny one, to the big one. Eventually, it's called the escape vector, and eventually you'll get out. Okay. Not really sure why that happened. Not really sure I care. Back to our mission. Boom. Whoops. Sorry. Now boom. That was really weird. That I can't imagine would normally happen for new players, but that's okay. Because you know, if we did get interdicted, I would have basically just killed his ass. But I want to show you the mission first, and then whatever happens next. Flying around at the speed of sound, got nowhere to go, gonna blow up my asshole. See, this is the reason why I don't personally use Super Cruise Assist. It takes a long time. Okay, so, you see that orange dot on our little radar right there? That's the guy we have to kill. Okay, so there's Mateus. Let's increase our speed to about 50%. And let's trail him real quick. So, now you're wondering, how do I get my weapons out? Because I want to kill this guy. Remember, to deploy hard points, we put it under the X button. So, you'll see, what do you call it? These two kind of lines indicating that your weapons are out. And there they are, the pulse lasers. Okay, now, I'm sure you wonder, how do I fire? Well, we made fire in the RB button. I won't fire him yet because I'll make him a target and do some weird shit. But, that's how you fire. Okay, great. Now, what I'm sure you all want to know is, how do I kill this guy without being killed? You see those four things right there? Your systems, your reset, your engine, your weapons. So based on how you mess around with those pips, is what they're called, is what you'll do is damage output or ship function. So if you have all system or all pips to systems, your shields will be about 2.5 times stronger. If you have all pips to weapons, your weapons will recharge faster, but they won't do more damage. If you have all pips to engines, your engines, when you boost, like this, will be able to boost, or will be able to regenerate faster. So pip management is pretty important in regards to combat. Also, if you have all pips to engines, if you look at our speed right there, right? you'll notice its maximum speed increases as well. So basically, pips is how you differentiate your ship's functions whenever you're doing anything. Alright, so let's say, for this sake, we'll put 3 pips to weapons. 1 is at shield. I think, no, 2 is at shield, and 2 is at engines. Okay. Seems fair because we need to kill this guy. Okay, now what? Well, now you shoot. You'll notice that these weapons are shooting him automatically. And that's because they're gimbaled. And that basically means the ship knows exactly where to fire so long as you're holding down the button and it's in sight of the ship that you're trying to shoot. And normally you'd be flying like you're flying in GTA, using the LT and RT button to slow down or speed up. Stay behind them. Make sure you use RT and right, RT and left to yaw left and yaw right, in case he does something funky. And shoot him one more time, and he's dead. And there you go. Mission over. You notice that these are the materials I was talking about in regards to engineering. We don't need to collect them now, but I'll show you how to collect them later in the future. Alright. Press X to put away your weapons. And now you're probably wondering, okay, so mission's over, right? What do I do now? How do I get back? How do I turn this mission in? Well, the same way we did for the curry mission. Hold X, press left on the D-pad, go to your transactions. You see that it says updated because guess what? The mission is over. Collect your reward from Mason Dock. Okay, you open the galaxy map. And you'll see, boom, that's back to draw me. You press plot route. And the same way that we got here is the same way we'll go back. Activate frameshift drive, look at, or friendship drive as we call it. Look at the target. I like to boost. And then, there you go. Back to Mouse and Dock to get that bounty, or actually get that money. The money. It's all about the money, money, money. All right. Again, press RT and X. Just fly past this thing because obviously our next destination is where the hell? Oh, it's over there. Wolves again. How interesting. Press Y, look at the target, wait till this thing is fully charged, and then just fly to it. In the meantime, look around the space, enjoy your scenery, have a good time. See all these stars fly by you. I don't really know if that's what it actually is, but I'm just going to make the assumption that it is. Again, fly past this thing. Oh, before I continue, do you see this little, well, you did see it. Okay, you see this ring? Whatever you do not, and I mean do not fly within inside of that ring, because what will happen is your ship will begin to heat up like crazy, as mine is now, and you will actually be pulled out of Super Cruise right next to the star, because basically you're within its gravitational well. And you gotta fly outside of the gravitational well to go back into Super Cruise, and that is a pain in the butt. Actually, one of my friends that tried to play this game the first time, he did that within a neutron star, which is very dense and has a very strong gravity. So guess what? It was spinning his ship like crazy, and he couldn't get out, and his ship blew up, and he rage quit the game because he didn't know how to get out of it. So yeah, don't fly within too close to the star or any stellar body that has a mass of a star, or your ship will blow up and die. Alright, so now that we're back out in our system, let's go find where we have to go. Again, Moss and Dock is highlighted dark blue. Activate your Super Cruise Assist. Align your ship with the target by pressing RT and A. And then, boom, the ship will take care of the rest. I usually like to kind of align my ship a little bit better so, you know, it doesn't look all junky. And, you know, if you press B and right in the D-pad, you can look around, see what's happening. Just so you know, usually those lights, they're either a planet or they're another ship. Usually another ship. As you can see, these lines are basically orbital lines for different planets around the star. And you'll see, if you see that circle over there, that is either, if I'm not mistaken, sorry, if I'm not mistaken, that would be a gas giant or another planet that has its own orbital lines for the moons and the docks within the moons. Usually a station is either orbiting a planet or orbiting a moon, or orbiting a moon around a planet, as the case. Actually, no, I don't think Moss and Dock is. No, it's not. Moss and Dock is orbiting this gas giant. Oh, sorry, not a gas giant. It's actually a planet with rings, right? Looks like a planet with rings. Yeah, I think it's a planet with rings. No, wait. You know what? Fuck it. I don't really know, so let's just figure this out real quick because I don't want to sound wrong. If we can get out of this. Where is this thing? Moss and Dock, Moss and Dock, Moss and Dock. Nope, it's a high mel content world, so it is not a gas giant. It's a real world. Alright, so now we're flying back to our station. What is that? What the that ship? I'm guessing it is. Yeah. What kind of ship is that though? Oh, that's an Aspen Explorer. Okay. Alright, so once again, you can't just fly into the station. You gotta request a dock. So X and left on the D-pad, go to your contacts, go to Mass and Dock, request a dock, and it'll let you dock.
Request approved. Set down on landing pad 07.
And obviously, if you bring down your speed to 0, your ship will automatically dock for you, so you don't have to worry about doing what I'm doing. But that takes forever in my case, so I don't really mess around with that. And yeah. Alright.
Landing gear deployed.
And boom, we docked. That's not really too important. Okay, so now we docked. We killed the guy. What do we do next? Go to our mission board. We'll go to the person that gave us the mission, this guy. And we'll hand in the mission because it's completed. Get our money. 26,000. Not too bad. But it's something. Additionally, sometimes if you go to contacts and authority contact, they will actually have bounties for the guys you killed. These guys don't because we didn't kill that guy in this star system. Alright, so we have at the moment 51,000 credits. Now, what can we do with that? We can do quite a lot. We can outfit our ship, as I'll show you in a second, into different varieties and roles as to what it can do or what it can't do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, enough of that. Okay, so this is basically all the options that you can have for your ship. And you're thinking, wow, that is so much. Man, this game is really big. Oh my god. Yeah, well, first you gotta go into them, right? And then, when you browse the shop, you'll have a lot of different options. And by different options, you'll also have options within those options. Now these are all E-rated. And the way it goes is from F all the way to A ratings. And there's 8 different classes. Well, sorry, 8 different effectiveness ratings. So if you look at this, this is 1F. And based on the size of the ship you have, it can go all the way up to 8F or 8A, right? And these are all the weapons, basically, as well as your mining tools, things you would use for mining. Here you have utilities, different supports for your ships. Because we're in Moss and Dock, they don't really have a lot of utilities. Other stations will have more or less. Then you have your core internals, such as your hull, your power plants, your thrusters, your frameshift drive. Unfortunately, all this is loan because we haven't actually got enough to get out of here. Then you'll have your optional internals, which is a lot, but this isn't. This is about like 50% of what there really is. And then you have your livery, which is basically ship camo. Ship camo, ship. Yeah, I'll just put that on for now. But ship camo, weapon details, all that stuff. But this is more like, what do you call it? This is what you would buy with real money. Like you know, you buy. It's kind of like GTA 5 shark cards, but it's ARX points instead. So it's up to you if you really want stuff like that. I don't really care, but you know, I'm sure other people do. Okay, so you're like, wow, outfitting, that's a lot of stuff. And again, it's dependent on how you play. Now, let's go on to Shipyard. And Shipyard is all the different ships you can buy. So there's 34, I believe, different types of ships. Here you can only buy 6 because, again, it's only the tutorial area. We haven't even gone into real space. So here, between the 6 different ships we have the Sidewinder, our ship, really bad, but it's the first thing you get. The Eagle, which kind of looks like a fighter jet. It basically is. It's a very combat-oriented ship. However, it's very weak. You would have to engineer it to be actually good in any scenario. The Hauler. This is more of a mining ship as well as a passenger transport ship. It's got good jump range, but not as good as other ships. The Adder, again, similar to the Hauler. If you look at it, they basically look like the same thing. One just got more of a circular front, and the one's got more of a pointed edge. And then finally, the Viper Mark 3. Oh, sorry. No, not finally. The Viper Mark 3, similar to the Eagle, is a combat ship, mainly. Security forces use these. And then you got your Cobra Mark 3. This is basically a really good all-around ship that is manageable for almost any role in this game, but obviously you'll want more as time goes on. And you can notice from, you know, the first one, as you go up, they get more expensive. A lot more expensive. I mean, look at the Viper Mark III, 349,000 credits compared to the Sidewinder 32. And our balance is 51,000. So you're going to ask yourself, well, how the hell am I going to make this much money if if I'm doing missions that only give me 20,000 credits? Well, I'll tell you how to do that in the next video. But anyway, so now that we're done, this is the second introduction or tutorial for Elite Dangerous. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video as to how we go from the Sidewinder, this junky piece of tissue paper, to something as magnificent as, I'd say, either the Fer-de-Lance or, you know, and basically any other better ship. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.